Okay, so good morning everyone. Again, this is Praful, and yes, as some people name me the guy with 12 lakhs package. Thank you for the new name, I like it. I won't keep it for long, but yes, I like it. So yes, I'm here to, in front of all of you actually to tell what led an engineer to be into business development, right? A sector that is like full of money, first of all, a sector that is challenging, a sector that has minimum to do with engineering, right? You'll always have question that why did this guy invest 4 years in engineering and ultimately go on to selling things and develop business, right? So it all starts one fine afternoon. Our teacher, in 8th standard English teacher, is conducting an essay writing competition, right? So what happens is that everybody's writing essay. We used to have a compulsion, right? In CBSE there was a formative assessment, summative assessment, right? So as a formative assessment of 25 marks, we had this essay writing. So everybody wrote their essays. It was quite normal. Writing an essay, not a big deal, right? People like me, I mean, we read essays, we learn essays, and we write. At least I used to. That day I thought, let's make it some fun. I just wrote it by heart, or actually from my heart. And then next day my teacher approaches me in the lunch break and he asks, Praful, did you really write it? I said, there are two possibilities in this case. Either I did write something good, or I did write something wrong or bad. And he was so disgusted that he came asking, what happened? Right? I mean, mostly I was assuming that it would be the second case, but story didn't end there. Next day I see that he's here in the class, he's there. Okay, good everyone. Most of you did well in the essay writing competition. Now, Praful, can we have you in the front? We have something really important to discuss. I said, okay. That's spooky and weird because I'm like the least entertained guy in the class, backbencher. There are superstars, we call it, every school has a superstar, right? So there's batch of superstars sitting on first bench, second bench, last bench, and there you go, he's calling me in the front. Okay, something is wrong, definitely. I felt as if I was standing in a volcano, right? I'm feeling it right now, I mean not that much, but still. So what happened is that everybody please clap for Praful. You don't clap, okay? So he said, everybody please clap for Praful, and everybody started clapping because they were 8th graders. They would say anything the teacher would say, which is good. So they started clapping. Even at that moment, I was furious. What's happening with me? Are they trying to insult me, embarrass me? What's happening? This is so surreal, right? And he said, Praful didn't get 10 marks, he got 9 marks or 9.5 something, I don't remember precisely. He's not the top scorer of the essay writing competition due to the bad handwriting that I've been having, I think from past life, I don't know when. I got 9 marks and then I was appreciated for the writing I did. So what is this is like a short extract, right? So what is the message that you take from the story? No, it's not that you should, every time your teacher calls you, it's not bad. That's one lesson to take. But the lesson is that thinking different always pays off. It has always been in front of us. I mean, the person who made, the fruit with half-eaten fruit, apple. Yeah, he always said, think different, right? And that was my point where I started thinking differently because I got it. It was right out in the front that thinking different pays off. Yes, of course, there will be downsides. Many a times you will be rejected, but it's okay. Be different. At least you'll stand out. You'll be recognized. Amazing, right? That's lesson number 1, right? Be different. Think different. There's nothing to be, feel bad about if you're different than others. Rather, I urge you to be different than others. Elections. Now, going through all these processes, right, I had this some kind of self-belief and maybe a lot of trust in my friends, and I thought that yes, at this point in 10th standard in college, with all the management qualities that I built just by thinking about things in my mind, I'll win an election for the vice captain of the school. There you go. And now I was contesting elections. I was like doing campaigning, canvassing was going on in my school. My school was amazing. Elections were conducted very professionally. There was a period given to you where you could really reach out to students. There were sessions, canvassing organized, where candidates would be allowed to pitch themselves to all the voters. I don't know how great I did at it. I mean, I must have done really terrible because I wasn't elected. That's the outcome. I got only 120 or something. Yeah, I got only 120 votes, while one of my friends, real near and dear friend to me, who was also contesting, won the election, which is a good thing. But I felt bad that time. Natural, right? So he got something 300 or more than that votes. I was like in shock what happened with me, right? But then again, it's a loss to be accepted. But then I say, what's the silver lining? The best part about the voting was that teachers were also allowed to vote. Teachers' vote was counted separately. And what I found, that maximum of the teachers' votes were for me. Cool, right? I mean, how I took it was, okay, that means that someone who really could recognize the talent. I mean, a 10th grader or entire school from 5th, 6th grade, or the teachers, who's the better person to gauge the person? You tell me, is the teachers. So I felt that way, right? Okay, teachers thought me, I'm good. Lesson from this story is that, loss is the best teacher, not for how to succeed, but how to deal with failures that will come in the future. Right? So failures will come to you, and you need to learn, you need to be ready, you need to brace for the impact, like they do before an airplane crash, right? The oxygen mask falls down, everybody like holds down to the seats, fasten their seat belts, are ready for the impact, bend down. That is supposed to be you. Be ready for the loss. It can happen, it's natural. I mean, even gods have faced the loss. Who are you? You are merely humans. Okay, no offense to the atheist. Okay, so yes, the lesson from this story is that, come on, no? Lesson is simple. What?
We have to master the art of feeling successful.
See, there you go. What's your name?
Pranita.
Pranita, absolutely right. You can sit actually. I have. That is it. You need to make loss your teacher. It's the best teacher. Doesn't mean you need to go on wishing it on Guru Purnima or Teachers Day. You have real teachers for that. But yes, loss can be your best teacher. Learn from it. Look at it from the different angle. This is somehow related to the first thought that I presented, right? Think differently. Think for your problems or losses differently, and you find an opportunity. You find something to learn. You find something to fight for. Right? Then I was like, okay, super confident now, we are good to go. And then 11th, 12th I shift to a college. Now college life is quite distracting, as you might be aware of. It was distracting. My school was CBSE, my college was state board. Now as usual, I thought, okay, it's CBSE, it's casual. It's like, okay, it's state board, it doesn't matter, right? CBSE is tougher than state board. That was my perception until what happened next, I'll tell you. So yes, this happened with me, that I was quite overconfident at the moment. And then what happens? We all have that friend, right, who does all the bad things, and then the friend will really insist you to join him, right? Let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, let's do that, let's go down the hill. You can cut this. There's always a friend who will really say that to you, that he'll try to indulge you into bad things, true or not. That friend for me was over my overconfidence. My friend was overconfidence. He befriended me, played with me, and what happened as a result was, I was so happy in my college life. I used to enjoy. My attendance was the 98% in college, 11th, 12th. People don't do that in school also, but I had that in college. Still, I enjoyed, I took it lightly, I was overconfident, and bam, there you go. 83%, which is not great, I understand, in 10th standard for CBSE, it's okay. CBSE is not tough, it goes along with you. And for my college, 11th, 12th, I got 68%. Bad. 68%. And most amazing thing is that, I don't know why, I never asked, I never thought of asking the examiner. They gave me 65 marks for English. Doesn't make sense, right? State board college judging a CBSE guy, giving him 65 marks for bad handwriting. Because people are not used to writing by their own, right? They need this format. It's like the writer said that. And then we continue. The first trick writing English answers is that write the question itself in the first line. We were taught something different and maybe they didn't like it. So yeah, that was a big blow. Overconfidence and not understanding the system. So yes, do not make overconfidence your friend at all. Right? Clear out there? Okay, very important. Now this guy who has scored 80, sorry, 68, huh? I was just about to do the palindrome. I got 68% in 12th. I was depressed. I was away from my home. I got engineering college, which my father's friend said it's good because it's strict and it is good. It was good that I realize now. Now we are in degree, right? B. I got admission here. I was underconfident now. I was just under everything. Confidence wasn't a word in my dictionary at the moment. I was away from my family. You know, I am like mama's boy. I had homesickness. I didn't eat food properly for a month. I was living on juice and chips. Amazing. So that was how I started, you know. I somewhere had the feeling of loss that I had in 10th standard. I lost somewhere. I had to come back. 12th standard was pretty bad. Now this guy, fallen into the dust, had to do something. So I started with CR. Let's be CR of the class. Interesting. So yes, after a general voting in the class, I became the CR for the first time. It was a great feeling. What happened was that I forgot something. I did terrible things to people. Hard to commit, right? I mean, what I did was that there's a friend of mine, he's now really dear to me. What I did was, we teased him in group. We bullied him at some point, I say. Not actual bullying like hitting, but yes, we made him feel bad about himself. I did. I don't know why I did that. Maybe because of everything coming to me so rightly that I just forgot the value of it. I forgot to stay on ground. But yes, one thing I felt was I wasn't able to sleep properly. Somewhere there was a feeling that I'm not doing this right. Something is wrong with me. Self-realization. I had to get that. The bad feeling inside me had to go somehow, and I found out what I did wrong. I found out that I have done wrong with this guy. I have been not so polite with him, not so kind with him. I have treated him with disrespect, which is absolutely wrong. At the end of the first year, I text him back, I write a big apology on WhatsApp. Who writes this big message nowadays, right? No one. I did. But I did apologize. Right? I cleared my conscience. I planned to be a different person. And yes, it worked. The person became my best friend. I saw the good in him. The best actually. The best version of him was in front of me. And the best version of me was in front of him. Right? So, no, don't clap this recording, guys. This is what I'm saying. The important lesson is be polite. Be respectful. Show some compassion for your colleagues or the people around you. It's okay if you don't like them. You don't need to like everyone. But at least you can just be polite to them, or at least not come in their way somehow. Not insult them in public. Not do. I mean, people do this, like they do fat shaming, they do body shaming, right? And they do eve teasing now. Anywhere outside, it's all there, right? Our campus is very better in that terms. But yes, it's happening everywhere. So somewhere it starts within also. Somewhere we also tease people. We tease people for not being perfect. What is perfect? Tell me. There is nothing called perfection. There is just a road which we think leads to perfection, and we go on it. So, important lesson. Be kind, be polite, be compassionate. Good? Important one, okay? Second year, first year I was the coordinator of, the general secretary of First Year Engineering Student Association, the FESA. You might have been part of at some point in time, in the first year of course. So I was again, okay, we'll be into MESA also. The second year as a junior, I joined Mesa. Worked hard, quite hard. Yes, I was a bit dominant in that. I fought with my seniors also, just to make all my friends, co-heads of the events. Makes sense, right? What I thought was that if I make my friends co-heads now, so when next year, they know how to be a good head, right? They already have the experience. This was my point. I fought for it. I got it. Fair enough. Now third year. Now it's time to choose the general secretary. But people are not loving me that much. So my seniors approach me and they say, Praful. I said, what? They say, can you just back up from the interviews, not come for the interviews? I say, why? That won't happen at any cost. They said, people don't want you to be the general secretary. They don't want you to lead. Big shock, right? I felt bad because 2 years yes, first year, second year, I just imagine one thing, yes, I'll go to my mechanical department, I'll be the GS, that's cool, I'll do it. I worked hard for it. Fair enough again. I said, okay. There was a lot brawl going here and there. There were people making arguments for me, against me. Now there were some of my own friends going behind my back, talking to the seniors and saying, he's selfish. Don't make him jealous. Some of them I even confronted, shockingly. And they confessed. They have done that. They said, yes, we did it. I said, cool. That was your opinion. You gave it. Fine. So I left home. When there was an interview for the General Secretary of MESA, I left for home. I didn't wait here. While going, I felt bad. But then I thought they didn't, say that they didn't reject me in an interview, right? They asked me not to come for the interview. So again, silver lining. If I would have went to the interview, they would have had to select me. There wasn't any option for them. That's what I thought, and I left. Moral of the story, not every battle is for you. Right? Choose your battles wisely. What happened after that was, a position I thought is like a boundary. It defines you, who you are. It gives you a designation, it gives you a position, and that's it. Where you get a position, you are done. You have to be in rules, you have to follow the protocols. But no, I was not even a treasurer of Mechanical Engineering Students Association. I was just a member who was mad for just doing events. That year I conducted more events, I don't know how many. I just went on working. And what happened sadly was that many of my teachers thought that I was the General Secretary of MESA. And juniors also. Thanks to them, but I wasn't. One of my friends, Weber, was the General Secretary, very kind guy who supported me in all my ventures as a General Secretary. Second is, this is the last instance of my story, you can read this out. What happened next was that all these drives came in, right? So I was fortunate enough to give the interview for New York engineers as well. What happened with them was that they hired me. They said, yes, we are hiring you, but you will be working as an intern for the beginning. Cool? So I said, yes, my pleasure. An internship is always cool because two things happen. One, you miss college. At least the half of it. I was relieved of like 1 or 2 lectures because I had to go in the afternoon. So yes, I said, yes, it's fun. And what I did was, from 5 p.m. to 11 or 10 p.m. or maybe 1 also, 1 a.m. That's midnight. I used to go for my internship. Yes, I did that. But what I missed in all this time was, I missed my trip, college trip. The B college trip, I missed it. I missed enjoying with friends, hanging out in the last months of Bachelor of Engineering in hostel. Yes, I missed that. But you know what is that? That is the sacrifice you got to make. You have to accept the fact, great things do not come free. Opportunities are not presented to you in ribbons. They come with thorns, which will really pierce you, bring blood out of you in minutes. Sacrifices are important. This thing taught me that to achieve something really big, you need to sacrifice something. Or everything. Right? So that's how I am here now. working in business development or New York engineers. The guy who got 12 lakhs package. The interview is whole lot another story for some time later. And that's it from me. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.